Welcome, third graders, to Motivation Station. In this math edition, we're going to be working on word problems involving math. Let's start off with our joke of the day. Where do mathematicians go on vacation? Times Square. All right, our target for today is to solve one-step word problems involving math. If we take a look at this picture, and the question is asked, which one of these has a greater mass? We learned last time that when the object went lower, it had a greater mass. So you're right, the banana has a greater mass than the apple does. Here's our first one-step word problem involving math. Let's read the question. The first time we're going to read the question just to see that we understand all the words. And then the second time we'll read the question to see what the question's asking us to do. Here we go. So Rick has 2 cans of soup. Well, and I can see that in the picture. I see 2 cans of soup that each have a mass of 357. What is the mass of both cans? Let's read it again. Rick has 2 cans of soup that each have a mass of 357. What is the mass of both cans? Well, I'm putting 2 cans together to find the total mass, so I could add 357 and 357, and I would get 714. The next word problem, if I take a look at the picture, must have to do with sugar. So let's read it. A recipe calls for 400 grams of sugar. Rachel has 200 grams. How many more grams does she need? I need to read that again. A recipe calls for 400 grams of sugar. Rachel has 200 grams. How many more grams does she need? Well, I see 400 value and 200, but the words that I see that tell me what to do are how many more. And we've talked about that again. I'm going to find the difference. So I'm going to find the difference. 400 minus 200 would be 200. So Rachel would need 200 more grams of sugar to make her recipe. This word problem must have to do with flour. Always use the pictures to help you with your word problem. Let's read it. A recipe for bread calls for 60 grams of flour. If you want to make 4 loaves of bread, how much flour do you need? Wow, I need to read that again. A recipe for bread calls for 60 grams of flour. If you want to make 4 loaves of bread, how much flour do you need? Oh, I see. So each loaf of bread takes 60 grams, and I need 4 of them. So I'm going to need 4 groups of 60. Well, I remember that property that 0 is holding my place value. So if I want to do 60 groups of 4, that would be 240 grams. 60 times 4 is 240. This one-step word problem must have to do with watermelon. Let's read it. Janie has 300 kilograms of watermelon. If 5 people are sharing it equally, how many kilograms will each receive? Let's read it again. Janie has 300 kilograms of watermelon. If 5 people are sharing it equally, how many kilograms will each receive? Well, I think I have to do 300 and divide it by 5 equal parts. So if I did 300 divided by 5, I would get 60 kilograms for each person. Now is when you're going to need your pencil and paper. You're going to write 2 word problems down that after the video, you're going to try to solve and practice on your own. Your teacher will call you later and ask you how you did. Here's the first one. I have 4 packages of crackers with a mass of 9 grams each. What is the total mass? I'm going to read it again, but you can start writing. I have 4 packages of crackers with a mass of 9 grams each. What is the total mass? Go ahead and write that down. Don't solve it now, just write it down and you can solve it later. I'll read it for you one more time. I have 4 packages of crackers with a mass of 9 grams each. What is the total mass? I'll give you a few more seconds to finish that one. Now let's take a look at the next one. Your second question is in yellow. The bunch of bananas has a mass of 45 grams. There are 5 bananas. What is the mass of each? The bunch of bananas has a mass of 45 grams. There are 5 bananas. What is the mass of each? Go ahead and write that down. I'll give you some time. I'll read it one more time for you. The bunch of bananas has a mass of 45 grams. There are 5 bananas. What is the mass of each? So you're trying to figure out the mass of each of the 5 bananas if the total amount of them has 45 grams. After you solve your problems, you can talk to your teacher and you guys can troubleshoot anything that comes up.
That's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoy working on your word problems. I'm Miss Kay Johnson, and I'll see you next time.